I was born in Bronte. I was only born there, but I lived in Gosford. Went to the high school in Gosford High School. We just lived in Man Street, just before the bridge, as you go over. We used to live there in a big brick home, and the Pacific Highway's in the front, and then we used to have the trains going at the behind us. Those days, the trucks, not like they are today. They're noisy, but there wasn't as many. And down next door to us was a packing house where they used to have the oranges and the lemons, and they used to have carpet snakes to eat the rats and the mice or something. And then they'd have the windows open, and then you'd go walk by, and here's the carpet snakes hanging halfway down the wall. 3 or 4 of them, you know. That's you'd get out, I suppose, to get out fresh air. We used to have to walk across the road to go down on the other side, because I wouldn't go anywhere near them. And we had a big pump with water too. We had a river underneath, and it went right down in our property, right down and through the park, you know, the park opposite the railway station there. The river went right there, right underneath there, out to the Brisbane water. Oh yes, because in Gosford it used to be only Friday night shopping. They used to close all weekends. And Friday night was a lovely time to go down the Gosford Main Street and go shopping, especially at Christmas time. Father Christmas had come on the back of the truck and used to throw out gifts for the kids to be lined up. I was one of them. My father was a carrier and had trucks. He used to carry it. He used to take a lot of stone down to Lidcombe to the cemetery people. He used to go down to Sydney nearly every second day on the ferry, of course, because no bridge and that then. And my father, when we used to drive, we'd get to the top of the hill, and all the cars would be coming up the hill, and Dad would say, "Oh, the ferry's in. Hurry up." So he had to put his foot down on the accelerator to hurry up to get down to the bottom to catch the ferry before it went back over the water, because otherwise we would have had to wait for him to go over and then come back. I used to sit on the back of the boat, and they used to give me a line. I was only young, and I used to have the fishing line on the back trailing down. I said if I caught a shark, and they would have dragged me in the water. Used to go catch a train at 10 to 6 in the morning when I was 14, 10 to 6, and go down to learn hairdressing. And then I caught the 10 to 6 train home. And it used to take 2.5 hours. And we'd get to a tunnel, we'd say, "Tunnel's coming, wind the window up," because it was only, you know, the cold in those days. So you had to close the window when you're going through the tunnel, otherwise you'd be getting all the smoke and coming in. Oh no, you had to do that. There were 3 of us, my sisters, hairdressers, and she said, "I want to start a shop." She said, "I want Anne to come out and live with me, and we'll open the shop." So I came out here to the entrance when I was 16 to open the shop and do hairdressing. Down opposite the entrance hotel, right down the bottom, there used to be a beach. Yeah, there used to be a beach, and I used to get the little surfboard and sit on it and paddle, you know. There, the water was lovely then. And the beach went right up to the road. There wasn't any wall or anything then, it was just the road and then the beach. And the beach was a lovely bit of sand, it was lovely. When I tell people that, they don't believe me, and I say, "Well, I can show you a photo of me sitting on the sand." It used to be terrible. You'd be going along and you'd get halfway and you think to yourself, "Oh God, here comes the bus." And so you have to hurry up and get into the little alcove sort of thing on the side so that the bus could go by. Brennan used to own that. They were a very nice family, and they used to own the one in Gosford they used to call the Valencia Theatre, and that was nearly opposite the railway station. They owned that too. But the theatre came down there, and Mr. Chalmers was a chemist next door, I never used to go to a doctor to see anybody. We used to go and see Mr. Chalmers. He was more like a doctor. He was very, very, very kind, very nice man. It used to be lovely to be able to walk down the street and have a look at different things. When the war was on, we were the only hairdresser in the district. Used to be a guest house on the corner where Coles is. They owned Coles, the Watkinses, and that's where we opened the hairdressing shop. And that's when I had all the customers with the bowlers. They used to come in and have their hair done, and they used to say, "Won't you join?" Because I was a golfer, but my hip went and I could hardly walk. So they said, "Come and join the bowling club, you'll enjoy it." And I said, "No, I don't want to be an old leghorn sort of thing, you know, usually with all the white dresses and white long stockings." I used to think, "Oh, I couldn't stand that." So anyhow, in the end, I put my name down to when I couldn't play golf. And as I said, it took that while before I could join. I had to wait for someone to leave or die. Or I enjoyed it when I came in, except the ladies didn't want to play with me for a while. They thought I wasn't good enough. Bing, bing, when the bell went, they all used to rush in to have their cup of coffee or tea and their biscuit, and then we'd go out and we'd play bowls again. Yes, 1958 was the year I was a member here. Well, I would be the oldest member. And we used to have a good time when the building was done. There used to be when they built the extension on the building, the little one that first started, and they had a band. I think it was 1967 the auditorium or something was open, and they had a nice band, a nice dance night, and they had a good band. I used to enjoy their dances on Saturday night, and then halfway through they used to give them supper, and because the restaurant was right along that wall down there. And the supper was always nice. It was always prawns. And one Saturday night, they couldn't get the prawns here somehow. And my husband had to drive all the way down to Hawkesbury River to get the prawns to come back to give the supper for the dancers. Years ago, of course, when the building was first done, there was a discrimination. There's right down the bottom, men-only room where the bar was. And there was a little hole on the back wall, alcove sort of thing. And when we came in, all the women, to get a drink, we used to have to knock on the door or the wall or whatever was there to sort of hurry them up. We always wanted a drink because we weren't allowed in there. Well, I used to have a beer. I used to like a little beer after I had a game of bowl. I didn't drink a lot, might have had two, but I used to enjoy my beer. I used to say, I'll have a great, actually sometimes I had like lemonade in it more or less, but I know the little alcove was there, we couldn't get in, we weren't allowed into the room at all. And that was for a good while until the discrimination came in. And as soon as the discrimination came in, there was three ladies said, "Wow," they said, "this is it." So as soon as the door was open, they rushed in, got up onto the counter and put their elbows on the counter, and they said, "We're going to have a drink." Now then upstairs was built, and then we used to have our little concerts. I used to do a lot of concerts, but I never used to play. We used to have a lady bowler that was a good pianist, and she used to play for us. But I used to sort of work out the concert, who was going to do what, and we used to have a good time upstairs. It was only ladies at first, and then the lady said, "Oh, this is no good, we're dancing with one another." So then after we had our supper, we invited the men to come and join us. We used to go away a lot up at, we went up to Port Macquarie, four of us, to a bowling competition, and it was lovely. And when we finished there, someone said, I don't know who it was, they said, "Oh, I'm not going home yet, it's too early. We finished up in Queensland." So had a couple of days there and turned around and come back home again. It was lovely being, going to different clubs and playing and meeting people, which is a good thing. Lovely. Oh no, we've had a good lot of fun years ago. It was nothing about it. It was good, really good. Oh, I like the new club. It's very nice. Besides, you can play and don't get wet. And another thing too, that the girls are lovely here and very nice. Jason's very nice. He greets everyone. And the ladies are very, very good. I was here yesterday, had lunch, and I hurt my leg and I had blood running everywhere. And the girl came over and gave a Band-Aid and washed it all down and fixed it up. It was very nice.